Welcome to the Everything Embodiment Podcast, where I will help you find peace, understanding, and love all within your human body, enhancing your mind-body connection through the exploration of vast ideas, concepts, and modalities, discussions all meant to propel you along your own unique spiritual journey. I'm your host, Amber Miller. All right, welcome back to another week of Everything Embodiment. I'm your host, Amber Miller. I am so excited and grateful to be here after quite the hiatus. I'm a generator in my human design through and through, but I have the sacral response. So I've really been working to integrate that with my life and follow the yeses. So by doing that, I've had to take a pause on the podcast, but I'm back on a complete whim, following that sacral yes, here to talk about the Akashic Records. I believe I've mentioned it on a previous episode, but I've definitely, if you follow me on social media, have been talking about it more and more on those accounts. I have completed coursework in Akashic Record Reader training, and I've really been enjoying practicing and just meeting different people and receiving different kinds of information and learning to interpret it and pass it on with its recipients. So after making the decision that yes, I would be recording an episode tonight, I had to decide what am I going to talk about. So I got into meditation, I had some ideas, but I kept coming back to just talk about the Akashic Records. I've been hesitant to talk too much about it and just kind of digesting this hesitancy. I'm just feeling like I have a lot of responsibility to get this right. And being a lazy perfectionist, as I call myself, it's kind of vulnerable for me to just dive into an episode with no notes, just going for it. But here we are, and here we go. When people used to ask me what are the Akashic Records, I would tell them it's like a Google for your soul. I want to take this moment and change that answer, as I heard recently the Akashics being described as Chat GPT for your soul, and that really felt more appropriate. The answers that I get from the Akashic Records, it is more direct, like a Chat GPT answer. It is emotions are taken out of the answer. I feel like with Google, you have the paid advertisements pop up first. So there is a real bias in the information that you receive. Forgive me if I have this wrong with the Chat GPT. I don't use it that much. But when I have used it, you just ask a question and you get a very neutral response. So you can ask the records really low risk questions. I'll ask, what should I eat today? I'll ask, what do I need to know for my highest good? But I also use the records to really work with some deep, deep healing. And I have had very intense, how do I want to word this? I'll say I've had significant healing as a result of the information that I was shown. I've been able to let a lot of things go. But more importantly, I've been made aware of some trapped energy, thoughts, past actions, that I didn't really have a huge subconscious awareness of until it was shown to me. And it was important to understand these things to be able to let that go. So I've been really excited to add Akashic Record reading to my blend of healing that I do. I shared this story last week on my TikTok, but I'll tell it again here in a little more detail. So my husband, for his job, he does have expenses that he puts on his own credit card. And it's his responsibility to just, all he has to do is submit these receipts. It's kind of a process that he doesn't enjoy. But he gets frozen. And it's been this way for years. And we've actually lost a lot of money by him just not filling out these expense reports. So kind of joking the other night when he was sitting down to do a lot, he's months behind, I said, why don't I check your records and see what the hang up is? So I was kind of surprised he said yes, and I'm excited to practice. So immediately I was shown imagery of baseball, and I knew he was a baseball player in high school, but with this baseball I kind of had like intense feelings of anxiety, so I was shown that emotions as well. And my husband, I asked, did you have anxiety playing baseball? He said no. Then I was shown this picture that I've seen. I love this picture. And it was him he was pitcher and he was talking to the catcher. And that picture was in my mind. And so my husband, when he was talking about baseball, brought up that picture without me saying I had seen it, because in my mind I thought I was just seeing more baseball imagery. So anyway, we get to he's talking about the picture and he goes, oh, and that's so and so. Well, that so and so was a lifelong best friend, and they had a really terrible falling out. My husband loaned him a significant sum of money, kind of as a business loan. And basically, the business loan was never used as it was intended. And my husband was out a significant amount of money. And aside from that, he lost his best friend. And so the records was showing me that that's where his hang up of getting his own money back from his company was coming from. He had all this unsorted emotions about the trauma of losing a significant amount of money and the trauma of losing his best friend. So with that information presented, I was able to start a healing on him using, various modalities. We had the angel Reiki. Michael was there ready to cut some cords, and we let a lot of that go, and he felt the release. So much that he was able to do his expense reports, and it's only been a week, but we're staying on top of him, so it's very promising. And a story from my own personal life is seeking the guidance from the Akashic Records to help me on my health journey. I'm a certified natural healer. I am an Asui Reiki master. I'm an angel Reiki master teacher. I do body code, emotion code, and to address the elephant in the room, I have my own healing to do. I have been overweight a majority of my life, despite lifelong efforts to not be. Internally, I've always had this judgment against myself. How can I be a healer when I have the most obvious trauma out there? I mean, you can't hide being overweight. You can hide other types of trauma or other types of coping with that trauma, but you can't hide being overweight. You can hide other things, but you can't hide that. So I'm just like, I always had this insecurity in my head, like, why would someone pick me when clearly I need to heal myself? So it's been just, part of the journey. I thought I have done a lot of healing, and I was just so confused, like, why am I still having such a hard time with this? So when I was feeling very safe and ready, I asked the records, and I knew that I had to receive the information that was shown to me without judgment. So knowing that I was safe and the information was for my highest good, I asked, what is holding me back from achieving my weight loss goals? And it was shown to me, and I was made aware that I wouldn't say like an emotional eater. I don't overeat because I'm sad or lonely or anything like that. But I was shown I was a different kind of an emotional eater, in that the type of trauma that I had as a child and the emotional neglect that I did experience set me up for replacing, mom and dad give you hugs and attention, and you got that dopamine release from that love and care. When you don't have that, you kind of rewire your brain. And I'm not a doctor, so don't take this as medical advice, but the way it was shown to me is that your brain rewires itself to get that love and satisfaction feeling from being served food. So I guess it was just a really powerful thing and effective thing for me to put it together that I wasn't eating because I was bored. I was just getting like a super dose of dopamine and getting those loving feelings from snacking or eating. And by being able to identify that, I've been able to realize what eating for hunger versus eating for dopamine is. And knowing that I can get those dopamine feelings in other places that are, healthier for me. So after that information was presented to me, I was committed to releasing that way of eating and nourishing myself no longer served my greatest good. It kept me safe, and it got me through things, and I've got a lifetime of lessons and resilience that resulted from being an overweight kid, teen, and adult. But I'm ready to let it go. So here we are now. Using the help of the Akashic Records, I found an approach that works best for me. And like my husband, he's only a week in, I'm only about a month in, but I have seen more success in this month than I've seen probably my whole life, other than when I, crash dieted here and there throughout my life. The difference is I'm truly nourishing myself. I'm not starving myself. I'm not withholding anything from myself. I'm not restricting. I have discipline for myself. And that was a big whole thing. I was intrigued about Ozempic when that first came out, and my doctor actually even said that she would prescribe it for me. She knows how much I've struggled to lose weight, and then when I was faced with that, I really sat with it and was like, my body is screaming, no, this is not the most loving thing you can do for yourself. And it's funny, every time I heard the stats of Ozempic that a lot of people end up gaining that weight back, I just knew that would be me, because I knew this is a lifelong issue I've had that I need to heal. I need to figure out, why am I like this? And as a healer, I knew I wanted to love myself through the process. And I wanted to make sure that the actions I take to get to my result were coming from a loving place. So I'm about a month in, I'm 10 pounds down, I'm almost 3 inches off my waist, and I don't feel like I'm restricting myself at all. And I'm at a place where I just feel normal when it comes to eating, and I don't feel like I've ever been able to say that in my life. So I truly do have the Akashic Records to thank for the success that I am experiencing now. I am combining it with, my other loving healing modalities, but I truly have the Akashic Records to thank for this. I'm excited to see how I continue to grow as an Akashic Records reader, as a healer, how to incorporate this with mediumship. It's been just a really fun journey, and if you would like to see my work, check out my TikTok, my Instagram, my YouTube. You can find me at everything.embodiment on social medias that I just mentioned. And I do have a website, Emerald Oak Energy, though I don't have a lot there as I am currently navigating what my offerings are as I grow and evolve. But speaking of evolving, I have faced my fears. I've done my first TikTok live. I hope to do many more. Give me a follow and maybe you can catch one of my lives. I've been giving free readings and I have really enjoyed that platform. So please check it out if you feel called. Stay safe out there, guys. Stay grounded. We got the big full moon tomorrow, and we just got a lot going on in America where I am. There's a lot going on globally. Biggest message I've been getting in my meditations is just stay as grounded as possible. Don't make fear-based decisions. And lastly, please like and share the episode if you feel called. I really would love to see this thing grow. And by leaving a review or sharing the episode, it helps the algorithm do its thing. So take care, you guys, and I hope to be back soon.